It's the Friday before Christmas, and all through the wine shop. Yes, everything is stirring here at Spectrum/Wine Exchange. Um, you know, I'm really excited for today's offer, and the reason is that I've always had an affection for this property, and it's not because it's Pomerol, which it is, or because it's next to some of the top estates in Pomerol, which it is. But I've always loved the texture and the flavor in the way this wine feels on the palate. And after many, many years, I think finally people are starting to take note. I mean, this is 96 point wine we're talking, so it's just not like a Pomerol slouch, you know. This doesn't come from the sand, this comes from the Plateau. And we're talking like that iron-rich blue clay and gravel, which they have. They're not only clay, they have some gravel at Château Rouget, which is obviously today's offer, which, again, there they grow Cabernet Franc and then Merlot in the clay area. So let's talk about this place. So Rouget it's one of the oldest estates in Pomerol, believe it or not. It was purchased in 1992 by the Labrière family. And if you know who they are, they're actually Burgundians, of all things. So they, obviously Labrière is a Beaujolais, but they also own Jacques Prieur. And if you know that, that's one of the basically the top estates in Burgundy. And in '92, they said, we're going to go to Bordeaux. But, you know, it's like a Burgundian that goes to Bordeaux is not going to necessarily go to the left bank because it's all about texture and elegance in the wine for a Burgundian. It's not about power. It's about finesse. And we're going to get finesse in Bordeaux? Pomerol. Pomerol gives you power, but Pomerol also gives you layers and texture and finesse. And a lot of it has to do with being on the plateau. And that plateau is like where, you know, basically the high rent district where you got VCC, Chateau Certain, you got Leguay, La Fleur, Petrus, Le Conscient, and so on. And you have Rouget. And it's interesting. When Kyle and I, when we did this, we were picking at La Violette, and we were coming back on the truck because basically La Violette is vinified at Leguay. We went past Rouget, who was also picking at the same time, and it's like I never actually visited. I mean, I've passed the property a gajillion times, but I've never actually visited the estate. But I've always admired their wines. They're always poured at the UGC, so we always, you know, are in contact with the family. But, you know, it's just one of those estates that I actually never visited. I've, you know, been right there at the, you know, on the road where their vines are planted, but I never visited their estate. But I've always had a deep affection for their wines. So this is a 2020. Again, it's 96 points. It is 85% Merlot and 15% Cabernet Franc. Again, in 2020, they were 100% organic. They aged the wine 16 to 18 months in 30% new French oak. And the reason they don't put a ton of oak on because the Burgundians want texture. So, all right, let's check this out. Beautiful, beautiful color. And you know the thing about Rouget that I've always noticed over the past vintages is that the wine is really accessible at a young age. I mean, this is 2020, so I mean we're talking 5 years old, but which is not very old. But it has they're very accessible at this young age. Boy, it's a lot of wine. I just opened this wine. literally before we started filming. And the one thing this wine gives you that you really look for in a Pomerol is that violet, you know, the kind of purple fruit. You also get like a hint of cocoa. Mm. It just glides across the palate. Silky, silky tannins. Again, Burgundy people want texture. They're looking for texture. They want that, you know, they want that mouthfeel. But they don't want it to be so powerful that that's all you get. Again, 96 points. We're well under $50 for Pomerol. That is a heck of a good deal. I think we're $46.98 on this. Why do I think that? I know that. we're $46.98 on this. And $46.98 for a 96 Pomerol is a steal of a deal. And it's our Christmas gift to you. Have a great, great holiday season. Again, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. We greatly appreciate you as customers, and we really look forward to doing the same thing that we've always done next year. So be safe, and we'll see you.